I would just sit back and let life go by at times. But so you have to have a good support system behind you in order to get through those hard times. And, I'm having surgery next month, so I'm going to be down for 6 weeks. And I have already started my plan for December. I'm going to go through my little gold file of customers and call everyone. Some of them I know that I should have called sooner, but I've, let it go by. So I'm going to go through my file, update my files, and do a complete service call to everyone and hope that, I can get booked up for after my surgery release, and also maybe sell to some customers and, maybe find a couple of new recruits. So the whole issue is that you're going to have financial issues. You're going to have, health and family issues. And no matter what comes along, if you let the business drop, it's just going to make it that much harder to get it going again. So you just have to back up and punt. And sometimes you have to rely on the downline. And I heard an analogy the other day that sometimes that's like herding cats. It's a little difficult, but, you got to help push them at times as well to make your business successful. So, just don't let it die. Just keep going and push it on.
Thank you. Well, Melissa, I know you're an inspiration, and I knew when the subject came up, we thought, we got to ask Melissa, because that really was quite a challenge in your life, because you had a very good position. And
I did.
Yes, I know you did, and you loved it. You just loved it. So
I did. So
that's right.
It made it difficult.
All right, but you picked up the pieces and you ran with it, and we're really proud of you. And I know you're an inspiration to all the people that are listening tonight. Sometimes it's just too easy to let something go, but this is important to keep on keeping on and to keep the business going. That's for sure. Well, thank you very much, Melissa. Now we're going to turn to a wonderful woman. She's an IED in Nebraska, or I think it's actually Nebraska. Yeah, it is Nebraska. And in doing so, she's had some situations happen in her life, but my goodness, is she positive all the time. And she probably had some good reasons to stop, but she never found those. She just kept on keeping on. And I'd like to ask our wonderful positive thinking lady, Sandy Anderson. Sandy, share with us your wonderful experience. Don't put your business on pause.
Well, when I started this business, our kids were small, 12, 9, 6, and 3. And I decided to work close to home just 3 afternoons a week with one-on-one, and I sponsored. And I could do that because I had my own business. The year we suffered hailstorms and a loss of farm income, I desperately needed to make more money. Instead of 3 afternoons of one-on-one sales, I did 3 parties a week and tripled my income in the same amount of time. And I sponsored. And I could do that because I had my own business. As I approached the empty nest time of my life, I said, empty what? I was enjoying my husband and grown kids and working even more doing what I loved, and I could do that because I had my own business. As grandchildren came along, I was free to spend time with them and schedule around their activities. And I could do that because I had my own business. And then the health issues began. I had a pituitary tumor which went undiagnosed until totally exhausted. I finally bought a medical book and diagnosed it myself, and in 1997 I had that tumor removed but lost my endocrine system. During this time, I needed to limit what I carried. And, Melissa, I feel bad for you. I got to carry 10 pounds, and I weighed every briefcase. I had 1 to take to sell, 1 to sponsor, and 1 to train, each weighing 10 pounds. I ran a program called Operation Save a Bunch. I get the operation, you get to save a bunch with my customers that I don't see all the time. And during this time, I went back to one-on-one appointments, and I could do that because I had my own business. Even growing up, I'd always had a lot of pain in my feet and legs, and I began to develop tingling and numbness. I was finally diagnosed in 2002 with Charcot-Marie tooth from the muscular dystrophy family, and I've gone from braces to casts to help me walk. I have no feeling up to my knees or in my hands. I do infrared therapy for the terrible nerve pain, but you do what you can do. Jeannie, you're one of my heroes. I continued to sell, sponsor, and train, but on a slower schedule, and I could do that because I had my own business. Then in 2003 came the dreaded dimple. Yes, I had breast cancer. All through surgery and radiation, I found great support from my family and from my clients, my team, and my company. You're all so awesome. And I still had my income because between surgery and treatments, I was selling, sponsoring, and holding meetings. And I could do that because I had my own business. Then in 2003, here's a program I developed called Aerodynamics, spelled E-R-O, dynamics. Most people think that E, the events that happen in their lives, determine the O, the outcome. Actually, it's the events plus your response to the events that determine the outcome. So it's E plus R equal O. Many times we can't control the events in our lives, but we can control our response to those events. Make it a habit to react positively. Change the things you can, accept the things you can't, and ask God for the wisdom to know the difference. That's the serenity prayer. God is so good. Through him I have had such joy and a peace that passes all understanding. He has orchestrated my life, and I cannot believe how I've been blessed. I wish you all an attitude of gratitude and a blessed Thanksgiving. There are those who think they can, and there are those who think they can't, and they are both right. I'm sure you've heard that before. Choose to live your life concentrating on what you can do. Being positive is contagious. Expose somebody. Sell, sponsor, and train. We must do whatever we can do whenever we can, and our business will grow. And we can do this because we have our own business.
Oh,
Phyllis?
Thank you, Sandy. You are an inspiration, and I do want you to know, and I'm not tattling on Sandy, but when we have our seminars, she has her braces on her legs, and she has to have somebody put them on and take them off for her every single night and help her in every way, get herself together. But boy, you never hear a negative from Sandy. It's always positive, positive, positive. So, she kept on keeping on, and her business had helped her make it through. So, you just have to look at these things and say, I get my priorities straight, and I can still do a lot more than I think I can. And I love that response. That's so true, Sandy. Thank you very, very much. Now we're going to go all the way up to Michigan. We have a lovely girl up there that really has gone ahead and doing some wonderful things. And she's had a couple of little situations along the line. She lives in Michigan. Number one, that's a problem with the economy right now. But she found the people that do have money up there. And then also she's had a family. So a lot of people say, well, wait till my kids get grown and then I'll do this. Well, Debbie didn't do that. So let's hear from Debbie. Deborah DeBoss DeVries. Debbie, are you there?
I am here, Phyllis, but I can't get my speakerphone off so that.
But you're good.
Can you hear me okay?
You're sounding good. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Phyllis, for asking me to speak tonight. It was really cute when Faye had called me on Thursday as well, last week Thursday, and I was very honored to ask to speak, as I know all the ladies are. I have been with the company for almost 23 years, but I did take a pause when I was pregnant with my fourth child. She's now 10 years old, and I've been back full-time for about 5 years now. When she started kindergarten, I told my husband that I was going to get back into the business, but rather than doing the lingerie home parties that we used to offer way back when, I was just going to do the bra business, because I was told that Gail Bogdanovich and a bunch of other women on the East Coast were doing all these curves, and it was great. And so I got into that, and it has been really great. But what I really like about the business is when we had a death in our family, I was able to go to the funeral and take part in that and give my condolences to the family. When my church camp is in session in July, I'm able to back down on my business and do very, very little, just a few individual fittings to keep my volume up to the minimal 400 or whatever. And my children's activities, with 4 kids, there's always volunteer work being asked of parents, and I try to do a little bit of volunteer for each of my 4 kids. Of course, there's always that mom that's